Good evening. So today we are going to solve a problem on footing and footing that is under axially loaded column. So we have this problem, a factorial axial load 1400 kilonewton, soil bearing capacity 225 kilonewton per meter square, size of column 300 by 500, M20 and Fe415. We have step 1, that is area required. Area required, we have total load on footing divided by SBC of the soil. Now total load on footing, we have 1.1 into load on column. So 1.1, that 10% we are going to consider self weight of the footing. And for that we are going to multiply it by 1.1. And area required, we have 6.84 square meter. Then second, we have size of footing. So we are going to consider CXX and CYY be the cantilever portion beyond the face of the column. And from this, we are going to get B plus 2 CYY into D plus 2 CXX equal to AR. Now, D plus 2 CXX, we have LF, and B plus 2 CYY, we have BF, that is width of footing and length of footing. So now substituting these values, same, that is CXX equal to CYY equal to C, we are going to get value of C. And that value we are going to get as 1.11 meters. Now we will put this value of 1.11 meter in BF, which will give me 2.52 meter as width of footing, and length of footing we will get 2.72 meters. Now we will round up these values and we will provide size of footing as 2.6 meter by 2.8 meters. So that area provided will be 7.28 meters square, which is greater than 6.84 meters square, which is required area. Then we have bending moment, which will be third step. So footing will act as cantilever beyond face of the column, and therefore we will get actual bearing pressure on footing, which will be column load upon area provided. So here we are going to consider column load 1400 divided by 7.28, which will be 192.31 kilonewton per meter square, which is less than 225 kilonewton per meter square, which is soil bearing capacity of the soil bearing capacity. Then we are going to find out bending moment. So we have to convert this pressure into UDL. So when we will go along the length, then we are going to get, we have to multiply it by width of the footing. And therefore we have multiplied it by width of footing, and then we are going to get this value as 500 kilonewton per meter. So we are going to be with this value, that is 500 kilonewton per meter, and we are going to get this as a cantilever portion. And for this cantilever, we know we have bending moment that is equal to WX square by 2. And now CXX we can calculate, both we have same, which is LF minus D upon 2, and we have 1.15 meter. If we will go for CYY, then you are going to get same value, 1.15 meter. Then we will substitute this in the bending moment equation, which will give us bending moment along YY direction, which will be 330.63 kilonewton meter. Now we will go with intensity of UDL along the width of footing. So we have to multiply it by length of the footing, 2.8 meter, and that will give us UDL. 538.47 kilonewton per meter. And now we have bending moment at the face of column, W into CYY square by 2. So we have now bending moment that is along the x-axis, and then we are going to get this CYY 1.15 meter. So now if you will see this, then you are going to get this cantilever in this fashion. So we have cantilever likewise, which is fixed support will be considered at face of the column. And then here UDL we are going to get as 538.47, and from this we are going to get bending moment that is along x-axis, which will be 356.06 kilonewton meter. Then we have depth from bending moment consideration. So RU max we have to find out. We have FCK 20 and FY we have 415. And from this we are going to get this value, that is 2.76 Newton per mm square. So now we have these values, M20 and FE415. And from this we are going to get these values RU max 2.76 Newton per mm square. Now we are going to provide 50 millimeter offset beyond face of the column, that is for your form work. This offset is required. And then we have this now B, if you will see B or D, then B we have 300 plus 100, 400, and D we have 500 plus 100, 600 millimeter. Now we have along x axis, so we have 0.5. So we have seen this, we have this as value that is 0.5, and then 100 if we will see along this and along this, then that will give us 600, and that we have to put over here while calculating bending moment. So you can see this as 463.69 millimeters. So we will provide overall depth 600 millimeter. Now dx equal to d minus d dash x. Here we are going to consider effective cover, that will be 60 millimeter, and we will get dx as 540 millimeter. The dy we will get it as 530 millimeter. So this is to the center of x direction, this is to the center of y direction. So we have assumed here diameter of bar as 10 millimeters. Then we have reinforcement along x direction. So we have 0.5 FCK upon Fy, 1 minus root of 1 minus 4.6 MUXX upon FCK B dx square into B into dx. And by substituting these values, we will get value of ASTX 2134.25 millimeters square. So we have this will be along x direction, but about YY. And therefore we have taken about YY 400 millimeters. So we will have to provide 28 bars of 10 millimeter diameter. Now along y direction, but about x axis, we are going to get value of ASTY. So here we have value that is 600. And then from this, so this 600 you can see for depth, check depth from bending moment, we have taken this as 600. And ASTY we have 2168.48. And from this we are again going to get 28 bars of 10 millimeter diameter. Now we have to check depth for two-way shear and check depth for one-way shear. Now this for two-way shear we have to be at dy by 2 from face of the column. So we have that is dy by 2 from face of the column. So what we have to do, we have to calculate the strength of the concrete in this portion, which is as dy by 2. And this strength of the concrete in this portion, we should have greater than the soil pressure beyond this, that is between the footing and this critical section, that we can say area of footing minus this area at critical section. Now for this we have this as perimeter into depth, we have to find out at this critical section, and then we have to multiply it by concrete strength, that is permissible shear strength of concrete. So we have this as critical section. So perimeter we are going to get from this as 2 into 1.03 plus 2 into 0.83, and area at critical section we are going to get that is 0.83 into 1.03, which will be 854900 millimeters square. That will be area at this critical section. Then we are this area we require to subtract from whole area of the footing. Now here we are going to be find out value of DC, because we have to multiply it by DC area. Perimeter we know, so we have this as perimeter into this depth of concrete, and then we have to multiply it by permissible shear stress. So now we are interested to find out DC, and for this DC we have to find out this value of Y, because we know this value of dx and dy, and from dy we have to subtract value of y, and subtracting value of y we are going to get this value of dc. Now this 0.45, because overall depth we have 600 minus 0.15, that will gives me 0.45 meters. Now this is 1.1 meter, because we have CXX as 1.15 meter, and 50 millimeters we have, that is offset. Now this value, therefore we are going to get it as 1.1 meter. Now you can see this 0.215 meters, because we have dy by 2, dy we have 530, and therefore 530 minus this dy by 2 we have from this. So we have 265, and we have to subtract this 50 and therefore it comes 215 millimeters. So now we know this. We know 0.45, we know 1.1. So why we can find by using two similar triangle. One similar triangle we have this one, and second similar triangle we have this triangle, and which will gives me value of y. If I will subtract it from dy, I will get value of dc. Now you can see this y upon 0.215 is equal to 0.45 upon 1.1, and then from this y we will get as 87.9 millimeter. DC we have dy minus y, that is 442.1 millimeter, and then we are going to multiply this resisting area perimeter into depth, which will be 1644612 millimeter square, and then we have to multiply it by permissible shear stress, which will give us strength. And then permissible shear stress we have given in clause number 36.6.3.1, tau uc is equal to ks into tau uc. That ks we have 0.5 plus beta c, and beta c we have, that is breadth of column divided by depth of column. And if this value is greater than 1, then we have to take 1, and if it is less than 1, then we have to go for that value. So now we know ks, then we have to find out value of tau c. So for limit set method, this value of tau c is 0.25 root fck, and that will gives us 1.1 Newton per mm square. Then tau uc is ks into tau c. Ks is 1, so this value remains tau c only, 1.12 Newton per mm square. Area now we know, and permissible stress we know. And from this, we are going to get this shear strength at critical section, which will be 1841.97 kilonewton. Now, shear force we know, actual bearing pressure into area of critical section, and that area we have seen, that is 0.8459. And from this, we are going to get this value, that is of shear force, which will be 1237.34, and this is less than 1841.97 kilonewton, and therefore okay. So this is also known as punching shear, means whatever portion of that critical section will go down, and that therefore we are going to say this as punching shear. And then we have next step, that is check depth for one way shear, and that is at dy from face of the column. So now we are going to be, this will be at dy, and value of dy we know, that is 530, and from this we are going to get these dimensions. Now in this we are going to find out, that is value of the force at this portion. So intensity multiplied by this distance. Now this distance we are going to get is at 0.62. So we have 0.62 into breadth of footing into intensity of UDL in bearing pressure in upward direction. And then we are going to find out strength of critical section at dy, and that is again by area into permissible area we are going to get from here, and then we are going to calculate value of tau c, and that by using percentage of steel provided. So now in this we are going to be in this fashion. So in the same way we are going to be, then we have, this will be critical section. Then we are going to consider in this area, that is trapezoidal area. So we have to consider this trapezoidal area at this section, that is at dy. So in the same way we have to calculate the values. Now it is at 0.48 meter, because dy we have 530, again 50 we have offset, so it goes to 480, that is 0.48 meter. Then we will calculate again y, and then we will subtract it from dy, gives me value of dc. So you can see over there. So we are going to get DC 334 millimeter. Then we are going to get this as trapezoidal. Now we know, that is rectangular portion we have, that is of 150. Out of this we have 70 millimeter, that will be effective cover. So this becomes, so remaining portion of rectangular is 80 millimeters. So total we have 334. So above portion we are going to get it as 254 millimeter. Then we have calculated this value, and that we are going to get as 1.56 meters. So this value we have calculated, and this we have added in that 600. That is in 600 millimeters, and that we got as 1.56 meters. And then we are going to find out area at this critical section, that is area of this rectangle and area of this trapezoidal, and this value comes 0.778 meters square. Then shear force already I mentioned, we are going to be 2.6 into 0.62 into this actual bearing pressure gives us 310 kilonewton. Now nominal shear stress from this we are going to get, which will be 0.4 Newton per mm square. And this is area at critical section, which we have calculated of the trapezoidal. And then the percentage of steel we are going to calculate. And from this percentage steel we will get tau UC as 0.42 Newton per mm square, which is greater than this. Another way we can go, this is our shear force, and shear strength we can find by multiplying this 0.42 into this area at critical section 0.778 into 10 raised to 6 millimeter square. And from this we will get the value which will be greater than 310 kilonewton. Then we have last check, that is check for bearing pressure, which is PU upon area of column, and that comes 9.33 Newton per mm square. A1 we have BF into LF 2.8 into 2.6, that is 7.28 meters square. Now this is one. So here you can see that is area of footing, or second we have B plus 4 DF. Now you can see here that is we have side slope of 1 vertical to 2 horizontal. So 2 horizontal on both sides, it becomes 4 into depth of footing. So B plus 4 into depth of footing into D plus 4 into depth of footing. And then we will get this value, that is 7.83 meters square. We have to take minimum of the two, therefore is 7.28 meters square. And then A2 we have, that is area of column base. And from this we will calculate root A1 by A2. And if this value we are going to get greater than 1, then we have to provide root of A1 upon A2, that is equal to 2. So it should be less than or equal to 2. Then permissible bearing pressure, we have 0.45 FCK into root A1 upon A2, and then we will have 18 Newton per mm square, and which is greater than 9.33 Newton per mm square. Because if you will see, we have this value, that is actual bearing pressure 9.33, and then permissible bearing pressure is 18 Newton per mm square. Then we have development length that we know, and available development length we have half BF minus B, and then we will get this value, that is 1090 millimeters. And required we have, that is 470.12 millimeters. So this is all about your footing. So thank you. Today we will stop here only.